Alright everyone, in this project we're going to create a smaller temperature monitor, actually temperature controller, and we can increase and decrease the temperature using these two plus and minus buttons. Now when we're going to do this, for example using the plus button we're going to increase the temperature. This also means we're going to go into positive temperatures. This also means that we're going to change the background color of this display. So if you're increasing by one click, then it's going to turn red, and then it's going to just add 1 degree to each click that you're adding. Now let's decrease this, and also when it's going to go back to 0, then it's going to turn blue, and so far and so on. It's going to decrease to whichever temperature you wish. Now if you want to change this to Fahrenheit, feel free to do so. I'm going to leave it as at Celsius. Okay, so hope you're excited. Small little project, but pretty cool. We're going to use useState, and we're also going to update the state. So I think we're ready to get started with the project. Okay, so let's get started by creating a new folder within your projects. I'm going to call this 06-temperature-controller. Okay, let's close this up. Let's create here a file. Again, we're going to call it the same way as we called the folder. This will be temperature, but now with capital T. Temperature and controller dot, and also app and dot JSX. Okay, RFC. I'm going to leave the div. I seem to be missing here an L and here an L, and also let's change all of them. So they should have an L and you should have an extra L. Okay, within our div we're going to create a class name. I'm going to assign this to container, and also let's add a bit of margin here and there. So let me go into our file. It's going to have a margin to the top of 2, 3. Let's add a 3, and let's also let's text center. Now if you wish you can add the title. I'm not going to do this right now. I'm going to leave it open, and I'm going to start off by creating a card within here. So card.bglight, bg-light, going to have a light background, a bluish light background, and then a margin auto. Now within here, let's add an H1. Is going to hold the temperature. Okay, let's hit save. And I forgot to include it within our app. So temperature controller, and close it up, and it should automatically import. If it doesn't do this for you, then you need to import it. Okay, let's go back to our temperature. Let's also close this up. We don't need it. So here's the temperature. Here's our H1. And going back to the card, I still want to add something. I want to limit this. Let's see style. I'm going to limit this to a width of just 200. Now going back to our H1, I'm going to add to this a class name. I'm just going to add here a text of light. You know what? I'm also going to place this in a card. I know it sounds dumb. It's a card within a card, but just bear with me. You're going to see why I'm doing this just in a couple of seconds. Now I'm going to also add a bit of styling, because I don't want the general style of the card to take place. I want to change it, and let's set a height of 150, a width of 150 is basically it's going to be square, and a border radius. Or you know what? I'm going to add the border radius here. So border dash 50, and just going to add here a border of 2 pixels. So this should be then in quotations 2 pixels, solid, and hash 666. Okay, there we go. Now our text is white, but we're going to change this just in a couple of seconds. Now underneath our H1 we're going to need 2 buttons, but I want to display them as left and right from one another, because buttons are block elements. So we're going to use a class of display flex, and we're going to add a margin on the y-axis of 2. Within here we're going to create our 2 buttons, and I'm also going to import the button component now. So button, and still not importing. That is so strange sometimes. Okay, there should be a component, and I'm going to import up here, import button from -- components and / button. Okay, so we got our button component. Now we can pass in here our button text. Just text, was it just text? Yep, it was text. We're going to pass in here minus, going to be the left one. Then for the button class, we're going to pass in a btn, and we're going to pass in a large button. So btn-large -lg. And by the way, these classes are from my advanced CSS and Sass course. So if you want to check that one out, I created a complete CSS framework within there. So you're creating your own components and so forth and so on. So please check that out if you wish so. Now on click, we're going to assign this to a function. Let's just console log here minus. Okay, I'm going to copy this button. I'm going to add to this a plus and to this a plus, and that's basically it. Okay, so let's check this out. Inspect, and we should see in our console, because I'm automatically executing this, this shouldn't happen. And this should be actually in a callback function, so error function, and also here an error function, and now we should be able to console a plus and minus. Okay, now that's basically it for this part. Next we need to somehow increase and decrease a number here, and I'm going to take care of this using useState. So let's do that. Okay, now we need to import useState from React, so comma and useState. Let's go above the return, and now let's create a const and the structure here a temperature and a set temperature. We're going to assign this to useState, and the value, the state, will be 0. Now we have this temperature up here, and we also have this temperature down here. So if I transform this into a variable, then instead of, I still can see the color. Instead of temperature, the text you should see here 0. So let's take care of this. Actually, I'm going to change something. Let's change the colors, and we're going to change the colors right here in the classes. So where we have text, light and card and border radius, I'm going to change this to template literals. So I'm going to do this, then I'm going to pack everything into curly brackets, and at the end I'm going to add the temperature variable. Okay, now if this is larger than 0, then we're going to have here a BG danger, and if this is not 0, so it's higher than 0, then we're going to have a BG info. This should be a G, BG info, and we're missing here a question mark. Okay, so the temperature is not above 0, so the background is going to be blue, a light color, and now we need to increase the temperature to be above 0, and we're going to just going to close up here the console. Now we can use our set temperature to increase this temperature. You saw here me creating these two console logs. We're going to replace them with functions. So the first function will increase our temperature. So let's create a const. Let's assign this to increase temperature. Assign it to arrow function. And basically this function is going to set the temperature to the temperature, and we're going to increase it. And we're going to do the same thing to decrease the temperatures, and just copy, paste, and going to be decrease. And this is going to be a minus because we're going to decrease with each click the temperature. So let's copy the increase function, let's replace it in this button, and let's copy the decrease function, let's replace it in here. So let's see if we did everything right. If we did, then clicking the plus button will increase the temperature and will change the color, and clicking the decrease button will decrease the temperature and also change the color. Okay, one last thing, after the temperature you need a little sign, that is the degree sign. If you can't find it, then go to Google and type in degree or degrees and sign. If you don't have it on a keyboard, then just copy it and paste it right after the temperature, and then you can add a Fahrenheit or a C for Celsius. And maybe I'm going to change here something up. Yay! I'm going to change here something up later on in the course, but not right now. So this is going to be an update to this course. I'm going to have here a click, then this should change this to Fahrenheit or to Celsius. Okay, so with this being done, we are kind of done with the project. I told you, there are simple projects, there are advanced projects, there are medium projects. This one is a really simple one, but you can see how easily we can use state to modify something. So, hope you learned a lot, and catch you next time. Bye-bye.